Hello everyone, my name is Dave Partner and welcome to your introduction tutorial and general overview of KongaPay. This very first video is to give you a general overview of what KongaPay is and the scope and what it can do. Then in the next subsequent tutorials we'll walk through installing and setting up a KongaPay account and linking it to our website, okay, or mobile app. All right, in this first session we generally just want to know what KongaPay is. Repeatedly it's rumored to be owned by Konga, one of the largest e-commerce websites or portals in Nigeria, and this KongaPay is a payment platform that anyone can use to make payments both on mobile, iOS, Android, and through the web too. And then any merchant can use it to accept payments on their website. So if you have a website or a mobile app or whatever, you can use KongaPay to accept payments, okay? So they have 3 SDKs, one for iOS, one for Android, and one for web. Alright, first of all, when I get to systems like this, I like to first of all check the pricing system. Let's just see what the pricing looks like. Alright, generally it's a very simple pricing system that Konga adopted here. It's very simple. It's based on charge per transaction. So if the first standard package, of course all of them have no setup fee. Setup, registration, sign up, everything is free. Then if you have a transaction and you permit Konga to charge 1.5%, right? You can install your setup on your web SDK, but then your mobile and Android and iOS SDK will not work. Then you cannot set up recurring payments. So, but if you want them to charge 1.55%, the mobile SDK can work. You can set it up on your mobile apps. Then finally, if you allow them to charge 1.7% per transaction, means you have your full account running with no limitations, which to me is really cool. I don't see much difference between this and this, but well, depending on your transaction, if you're making millions of transactions, it could make a whole lot of difference. All right, the third other feature I just want to let go of is the well, let's just get back to the page first. All right, so when you get back here, you see a detailed list of features that on this website. The one that most interests me and the one at the bottom that Konga offers. I think it's something that makes the KongaPay very unique. As you can see, this one says that it can receive money through your mobile number without a bank account. So it's built around mobile phone numbers of the customers and the merchants too. So if somebody wants to buy from you, they just have to enter their mobile number and their password, all right, and their KongaPay pin, okay. And the next one is it make airtime and cable TV payments, just like you'll see on stuff like InterSwitch and stuff. You can just make these payments using your KongaPay. Then the next interesting feature is that you can generate QR codes with it, which is very, very interesting, and people can just map your product using, they just open their KongaPay app on their phone, then use it to snap the QR code on your product page, and automatically they can make payments. The app opens the page where they can make payments, which is very, very interesting. Then the final one, which really interests me, is the recurring payments. So I used to have these crazy ideas of some apps I can build that can occasionally recurrently charge the users based on their permission though. So there are some apps and ideas I have, and I think it's very interesting that this can be easily set up. As you can see, this is personal, but then when you click on business, it gives you shows you the features for business. And already it seems Braintemple has already implemented KongaPay, which is very interesting. Alright, when you get down to this place, you notice that there is a web, there is 3 SDKs like I told you in the beginning. They have for their Android, they have for iOS, then they have for web payments, which is basically JavaScript. Well, I do more of hybrid, so we will go with this hybrid. With hybrid, you can create Android, iOS, and web apps. Alright, then finally, just before we proceed to this guy here, to the web payment plugin, I want you to see that, hey, if you have any real business deals you want to contact Konga for, it's so easy. They have their phone number there, and they have this email you can use to get back to them. Alright, and then up here you can make your registrations and sign up. And let's just quickly see what's on the sign up page before we get back to our web payment plugin. I'll just take you through the web payment. Alright, this is the sign up page. First of all, they want to know your bank and your first name, your last name, which is the usual, your bank account number. Then there is something important, your BVN. So because it wishes to fuse into your bank account. That is the true power of the KongaPay. That's why people can make payment much more easily. So and of course the code to get your BVN pin. If you're in Nigeria or a Nigerian, you have a bank account in Nigeria, you obviously have a BVN pin. This is the code to dial to get it. It costs like 10 naira or so. Alright, we are back here, and then we are the web payments. Let's just see how easy it is to set up a Konga payment on your app. Alright, first of all, you need to sign up as a merchant if you want to be receiving payments. Okay, if you have any problem signing up, you can just mail them here. KongaPay will provide you a merchant ID and a client secret. You need to keep it secret because that's how they identify you. Then of course you can provide a logo that will show up on every payment page. Whenever someone clicks to pay, make a payment, we'll see the pictures in a minute or so. Whenever someone clicks to make a payment on your website, your logo should appear beside the name of your company or your business outfit. Okay, so let's just see how to implement it. As you can see, there are 2 SDKs here. Number one is that you can, if you are still testing, this is the one you just paste on your code on your page there. But then if you're in production, this is the one you use. Okay, so then when you come to this place, it's basically you just send a JSON-like request to Konga, and it processes the rest. So the first one is like the merchant ID, which Konga already provided you on registration. Then the merchant name, which you already have there. Then the callback URL. What this guy does is, this is the URL on your website, which URL address on your website will receive a response from Konga. So after this payment, whether it's successful or failed, it will send a response to this URL. So from there, you can now write a code to take care of whatever response you get. And this is the amount. This is where you enter the amount that the person wants to pay, or the cost of the product. And there's a transaction reference. Let me just quickly explain this. The transaction reference has to be unique on your website. It's a code or whatever, a code, for instance, that you use to uniquely identify each transaction. Okay, so someone comes to your website and purchases an ebook. In as much as you have the person's name, their email, and everything, you need to identify that transaction with a unique code. So you could use something like a combination of their email address with the product ID and probably the time or date. For instance, if you just concatenate them, you could get a unique ID to use to identify the product. Then of course you should save it in your database, so if someone is making a report on a particular product, you could just query that ID, and it brings the details for that transaction. And of course, button size. What's the size of the Konga button? You know, someone has to see a Pay with KongaPay button on your app or your site. This is where you determine the size in pixels. Then this is a description of the product or the transaction that is happening. So that's just it. Then somewhere on your page, wherever you need the button to appear, you paste this little code here. Once you paste this code, the button will appear. Let me show you a picture of what it looks like. So you have this this shop, and you have this amount to be paid. Then this is the button. So that code is the code that produces the button. This is the code that produces that button. Then when someone clicks on that link, when someone clicks here, what happens is that it pops up something like this, where the user has to log in with their phone number. So once they enter their phone number, they click login. As long as they have already registered with KongaPay, it will just log them in, and then it will show up this next page where they have to enter their KongaPay and a verification pin. So Konga will send an SMS to their phone. So the user has to go to the SMS message box and collect a pin, and the pin, and enter here, then pay. Alright, so it's just a three-step process where first of all the user clicks this, and they enter their phone number, and they enter their Konga pin, which they already know, and the transaction code that Konga sends them, and that's it. So it's as simple as that. Very simple, very direct. And when you want to set up stuff, you can always check out the rest of the tutorials here, but then it's very, very simple to set up KongaPay on the site. So thank you very much. In subsequent tutorials, we will go through setting it up for a sample app. Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. On YouTube, if you want to subscribe to my channel, you go to youtube.com/c/Braintemple.org. Once it pulls up, you'll see this channel. I've made so many video tutorials, so many, and in programming and a whole lot, so you can always check them out. And don't forget to click on this red subscribe button to subscribe. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.